Howdy you lot, how's it going? It's getting on in the evening now, and I had a little bit of spare time, so I've been playing around with an engine, trying to just have a look at it. But I had a load of footage that I done because I got a little parcel in the PO box from a fan, some fan mail the other day, and I accidentally deleted all the footage of unboxing it and talking about it and looking at it, blah blah blah. So let's have a look at that, and also let's have a look at the engine that I've taken apart. So what one should we look at first? Right, let's have a look at this first. So this is, I've got all these bits and bobs here, these bits of engine here, come the other day in the PO box. Little note, hope you can find some use with these parts. If I find any more, I'll be sure to send them to you, from Smokey. So thank you very much, Mr. Smokey. So what Smokey sent me, he sent me a sleeve of the piston stuck in it. He sent me an exhaust and a manifold as well, and he sent me a back plate and two Pro 28 blocks. All these parts are for the Pro 28. Sent me two Pro 28 blocks with bearings in, but I don't know how good the bearings are. I mean, why were they taken apart? They've obviously been taken apart for a reason, so I'm assuming that they're no good and a whole lot need to be replaced. But it looks like I've got two good blocks anyway, and one carburetor. Two carburetors, the other carburetor's there. So this one's got a carb on it, it's got bearings in it, no liner. Got a liner there, a liner on a piston. Got two dual start things, two pull start, whatchamacallits, a carburetor, which is, you know, handy. I'll have to have a, but that one's missing the high speed needle, so we'll have to sort that out if we want to get it going. Ever since I sent this camera off to be repaired, they come back and the focusing is absolutely crap. It used to be really good at focusing, that's why I bought it. Anyway, and we've got two cranks, two crankshafts. Happy days. So, and that one's got a nut on the end of it and a collet. So that's brilliant, absolutely fantastic. So yeah, I've had these for a little while now, but as I say, I accidentally deleted the footage of unboxing it all, so that's what we've got. I think I'm going to put this exhaust and possibly that manifold, because it's slightly different to the one that's on the MTA4 at the moment, so I think I'm going to put that on there and see what that's like if I get a chance. Happy days. So then possibly an engine project here, because I've got most of the parts. I mean, that piston's actually stuck in there, so I might be able to get that out. Well, I will be able to get it out, but it might be alright to run. I mean, it's not quite to the end. I know some of you are going to say, well, it's stuck in there, so the pinch is going to be rubbish now. I don't care about none of that bollocks. When you're building an engine from parts, if it runs, it's a success. So just for fun, I might build one of these engines up. We've got a head. I didn't mention that, we've got two heads. They've obviously got built-in buttons on these heads, so that's good. Two cranks, one piston and liner, so we've not got any choice on that. Two blocks, two carburetors, and an exhaust. The only thing we're missing is the pull start or the way of starting it, but I can always take the pull start off the other engine that I've got, the one that's in the MTA4 now, or I can try and mend one of these, but there's no spring, so that would be funny. I don't know what one's got good bearings. I'm assuming they were taken apart for a reason, but there's most things I need in order to build one up. So just for fun, if I get a spare half an hour one day, I might build one up and see if we can get it to run. If you want to see me build one of these up and try and get it to run, put it in the comments, and if I get enough interest in it, I shall do so. Let's have a little look over here then. So this is my Nova B3, and recently I was running it, as we all saw. Started it up and all of a sudden it seized, and I immediately knew what the problem was, because it's this is an early generation. I know some of you Nova geeks are going to probably correct me or whatever, but this is an early generation. I know that for a fact, because as soon as I heard that Nova were coming back and they were bringing out engines, I went and found a dealer and I bought one. And this is one of the first ones they'd done. Now there was a problem where the again, any corrections are welcome, but there was an issue where the I don't know if it would show, but the little clip that holds that gudgeon pin in there, or wrist pin as some people call them, they come out. And at one point, if I'd have got this done, I do believe that I would have got it all repaired. Well, not repaired, because if I'd have taken it, sent it back before it actually happened, they would have just changed it over for me for the upgraded design or something like that for free and sent it back. But me being me, I'm like, nah, it'll be alright. And it's probably had a couple of litres of nitro through this engine now, probably about, I don't know, that's had a good couple of litres through it, and it eventually happened. So it took me a little while to get the liner out, because that was jammed in there. You could see how hot that got. Look, that's definitely got hot when it was when it seized up. You can see where it got hot as well. I know that's the exhaust port, so I know that that's going to be hotter anyway, but what I'm saying is that you can see it, and there we go. You can see a little nicks in there. There they are. The little nicks there where one of those clips had come out and was getting jammed in there. But yeah, so taking this apart, and as soon as the new ones come in stock at Haggard RC, I'm going to get them and we'll rebuild it. I'm trying to show you in there, because in there is a big chunk of a clip. Come on. There we go. Where is it? Oh, it's stuck to the crank there, I think. Is it stuck to the crank? Don't know if you can see it or not, to be fair. Where is it? I had it there earlier. Anyway, I'm going to have to take, if I'm going to rebuild this, I'm going to have to take the crank out. I'm going to have to take the bearings out and clean it all, because there'll be little bits of metal around in there. So if I put a new liner and a new piston in there, little bits of metal are going to come out in it, and they're just going to ruin the new liner and the new piston. So it's all going to have to come out anyway at some point. But yeah, happy days. Also, somehow, the little rubber gasket on top of the block managed to, I don't really, you're going to say, well, you must have done it with a screwdriver. I ain't done that. That's how it come off. I don't know what's happened with that, but it needs a new one anyway, because it enlarged and it's bigger than the button now. Anyway, so, oh, and also you can see where there's some little bits of the clip thing coming up and smashing in the bottom of that button there. Look. Some there, bit there. In fact, there's a little bit of metal there as well. So it all needs to be cleaned up and rebuilt. Happy days. So there we go. But it's important to note that, as far as I know, this was an issue with the early generation of these engines. They mended it, they rectified it. So if you go and buy a Nova now, it won't have this problem, because they've mended it. So you can go and buy a B3, a B5, whatever you want now, and you won't have this issue. So obviously now I've got to pay to have, I've got to buy all the bits myself. I should have just I should have sent it back when the issue was arised and had it done for free. I understand it was all done for free. It might not have been, but from what I've been reading and what people have told me, if you bought one, you can send it back to the shop you bought it from, and they'd exchange it for free. Take it apart, put the new one in that doesn't have the issue, slightly different design or whatever it was, and it'll all be done for free because it was their mistake. But I don't know, that might be wrong, and if that is wrong, put it in the comments. But either way, I don't care, because it means that I get to rebuild this, and that means I will get a brand new engine because it'll be rebuilt. I'll have to get new bearings. I probably won't get new bearings, to be fair. I'll probably just take them apart and clean them. But anyway, it'll be rebuilt. Happy days. Couldn't ask for better than that, could you? And probably what I'll do while the engine's apart, I'll give the buggy a nice clean, all of it, all around, and then when that freshly rebuilt engine goes in, it'll be well, it will have a nice fresh clean buggy to go into, won't it? Happy days. That exhaust could do a bit of a clean as well, couldn't it? I don't know. Anyway, you lot, while we admire a nice S35, I'm off, I'm out of here. Just thought you might like to see that. If you're an engine geek just like me and you love engines, anything to do with an engine makes me happy. So, can't wait to rebuild that. We'll run it in and we'll go down some place somewhere and launch it off a cliff and have to do it all over again. Thanks for watching. Remember, treat everyone nicely. Treat people how you want to be treated, and we'll all have a very nice, happy life. Cheerio. Just a little bit on the end of it, on the end there. I was going to go and leave this and get the crank out another day, but I thought to myself, for the sake of 30 seconds, I'll get the crank out now and I'll get the bearings out later on. That bearing there, that is extremely crunchy. There's I don't know if you can hear it. Don't know if you can hear that on the camera or not, but there's definitely little bits of metal inside them bearings as they go around. Alright, I will have to get new ones. But there you go. So that's all taken apart. Apparently, the stock of new pistons and stuff is coming in to Haggard RC on Friday. We're leaving on Friday, probably turn up some point next week. So hopefully we'll get all that sorted out then. But for the price of rebuilding it, I could just buy a brand new one, I reckon. What do I do? Rebuild it or buy a brand new one? Who knows?